Hello everyone, hope you're all okay. Apologies for the glitching on my last video. I think I mentioned before that I was having some technical issues with the phone that I was using, and I believed that I'd fixed it. I watched the video back and it seemed fine, but then when I uploaded it, there's glitches in it, and also now the original is tainted with glitches. So it's obviously something in the software, but it's a bit too much for my simple brain. But it's okay because, like I said before, fortunately, I've got another phone in my van, one of my older phones, and I'm going to continue to use this one now. This is the beginning of my last day in Mequinenza. I'd set my alarm for 4:30, 5 in the morning, but when I'd woke up, the wind was rattling the side of the van, so I was a bit disheartened and I just went straight back to sleep. I got up a couple of hours later, about 6:30, 7, and I got outside. The level of the water had dropped a fair bit, but the flow was still too strong for a 10-ounce lead. I kept myself occupied with a few casts of the lure rod, especially since I'd seen the Zander trying to smash at the bleak on the surface. I've really enjoyed my time in Mequinenza. I'm not going to lie and say that I wouldn't have preferred to have put a few more carp on the bank, but I still enjoyed myself thoroughly all the same. The weather report said that around 2 or 3 o'clock the wind was supposed to die right down, and with the flow of the water getting less and the level of the water obviously rapidly decreasing, I was willing to sit it out in this particular peg to see what the water conditions would be like. But I had decided that if it didn't get very much better, I'd probably just pack up, call it quits, get an early night, and then set off to France in the morning. I just want one more carp, but I suppose that's how every single fisherman in the planet feels when he's on the bank. Just sitting here enjoying the last morning fishing. I know I've said it over and over again on this trip, but it's been really challenging. The unpredictable water levels, the flow, the snags, the rocky areas, all the snapped off lures. Yeah, it's been really challenging, but it's been beautiful, and I'll soon be back on site grafting, so count my blessings and be, you know, happy and grateful that I'm sitting there. Something that does keep making me smile, you know. One person that would be really laughing at this would be my old man. He'd be really creasing up at my bad luck on this trip. Where whenever we used to go fishing together and that, if I lost a fish, or if I was playing a fish and it, you know, it come off, I got snapped up, anything like that, he'd be creasing, mate. He'd be absolutely creasing with that, and he'd be jabbing me and taking the mick. Yeah, and he was always like that, even when I was a little boy. Absolutely any lesson that I ever learned in my life, he would want me to learn it the hardest way possible. He would want me to do well, and in his own way, he would be encouraging in his own way, but he would want it to be hard. When we lived in Abingdon, and we used to go fishing up the Thames, and I'd sit there with a little float rod, and I'd sit there all day, or what felt like all day, and I might catch 2 or 3 roach, a couple of roach. I'd be over the moon, mate. But I'd quite often catch nothing, because even though I was just a little boy, my old man would tell me what to do, and then he would show me him doing it, but he never, right? I cannot say never enough. Not once in my whole life did he ever strike into a fish and then hand me the rod and say, "Yeah, boy, have a fish." Not once. And I would ask him to, and he'd say, "No, you catch your own fish." And when I was a kid, that really hurt me. I thought he was being spiteful and mean, and selfish. But as an adult, I look back on that and I think, what a great thing that he did for me. What a great thing. What a great lesson that he taught me, you know. Catch your own fish. Like, I'll guide you, I'll show you how to do it, but I ain't doing it for you. Catch your own fish. You catch your own fish. And it's the same in life, isn't it? Like, if you want something, go and get it. Don't be relying on other people. Don't be, because the more people you rely on, the more people you turn and look at and blame when it goes wrong. It's your rod. And if you've got the balls to cast a line out and have a crack at something, fair play to you. Yeah, whether you do well or not, fair play to you for having a go. Even if it doesn't go the way that you planned it, you'll probably learn a few things on the way. He'd be quite happy. He'd be quite happy for this trip to be as difficult as possible for me. That's what he'd want. You know, when I get snapped up, or if a fish spits a hook or something like that, I'll get the ump, and I quite often look up in the sky and I just think, yeah, you'd love that, wouldn't you, Dad? That 43 pound mirror that I had in France, I was chatting to Helen and we were talking, one of the hosts, and we were just chatting, general chit chat, whatever, and yeah, we got onto the subject of like family and stuff like that, and I was talking about my dad, and I was talking about just what it was like when he died, and yeah, just talking about that, and I wasn't getting like emotional, like crying, but you know when you start talking about something and you feel like a gate, you feel like a barrier, like if you carry on talking like that, it's just going to lift up and you're going to have to walk off and have a little sob or something. And I felt in myself like tension building, and bearing in mind we're fishing on a lake where, yeah, all the bites were coming at night. I know I'm reading too much into this, but it's special to me, so I'll keep hold of it. Yeah, I was talking to Helen about my old man, and I was starting to, you know, whatever. And at the time it was raining, it was pouring with rain. There was actually a few flutters of like snow in the rain. I kept thinking it was like debris or something coming off of trees, but it was snow, it was pretty cold. And my alarm went shooting off, and by the time I went to my rods and landed it and hooked into this fish, it stopped raining and it seemed to clear out. And I landed a PB mirror, 43 pounds. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I just couldn't help but think, yeah, it was my old man, you know, saying shut up, talking about all the depressing stuff. Here, have a fish. Have a fish on me, boy. I know it's silly, but gotta stop and smell the roses, mate. I'm not sure that's roses, but you know what I'm saying. God, it's pretty. apparently it's raining. Can't be on anything. Look at that for a backdrop, mate. See the castle up on the hill there? Just there, boy. Hey? Wow. Yeah, look. I told you they were friendly here. Even the fish go by waving hello. Hello, mate. Hello. Ah. Mate, these sausages that you get here are mega. Hey? Ideal if you're only going to eat one sausage a day. They're very salty though. I tend to drink Coke after.